Welcome to the Content Creator's Guide. This is a place where we expand our knowledge on what it takes to be successful in an ever-expanding world of content creation. Join me as I sit down with individuals sharing their success stories and tips that help them get over the hurdles they faced on their journey to creation success. All right, let's create. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Content Creator's Guide. I will be your host, Patrick Conway, also known in other circles as Jaxus. And today we are going to be talking to one of my favorite Twitch performers. He has more than like 6,000 followers on Twitch. This guy has a captivating energy and a natural comedic timing that has helped propel him to success in the world of live streaming. So please give up a warm welcome to Tooniversal. Thank you very much.
Jaxus, thank you for having me on your show. And congratulations on getting all these shows launched. It's awesome.
Oh, well, yeah, no kidding, right? I didn't know if I was ever going to get around to it. So I don't really beat around the bush a whole lot. I gotta try to get right into the, my questions. So I need to know what inspired you to become a content creator.
Well, in my past creative career, I was actually a songwriter, and I've always had a creative itch of some sort, whether it was video editing or song creation. But as far as like getting into live streaming, it was just a friend of mine who knew I was creative. I was working on writing some things for like a show I was trying to create, an animated show I was trying to create, and he's like, you should try game streaming. You got the personality for it. You love being creative and you like gaming. Like, you should give it a shot. So then I started doing the research and looking into it, and before I knew it, I'd purchased an Xbox and a Kinect for a camera, and I was streaming then.
Wow, because I watch you now, and I have to say, I'm like I said, I'm a huge fan of yours.
I
I love
appreciate that.
watching your shows, and then like one thing that really caught my attention is how you use your green screen.
Mm-hmm.
You use it very well. I mean, as you can see, I do green screen myself but it's just a backdrop. But I noticed you have a lot of overlays that make it to where you can use your your green screen to do overlays over your own skin. I forgot what they call that. But
It's like a filter.
yeah, exactly, a filter. You put it on yourself. You becoming Mickey Mouse or putting a beard on, and that would be something I would think that people would love to know. Kind of, how do you do that?
I think part of it is just understanding character creation. A lot of these characters are individuals that we have created on stream. And then having SnapCam, which is what allows me to add those filters onto my camera, it helped to bring those things to life. And it's also my love for impressions and voice acting too, is something else that I'm very passionate about. So SnapCam just allowed me to accentuate those things and to really bring those things to life.
So SnapCam is an app or a program that you would download on your PC.
Exactly. Yeah. Anybody can download it. Anybody can use it. You don't even need an account. You just need a camera and a computer that can run it. Basically, that's it.
Wow, cool. Nice to know. I might incorporate that into my weirdness because I got plenty of it. So I have to ask, what was the hardest hurdle getting started?
Convincing my wife that it's something I wanted to do, because streaming is an investment, and ultimately not just of your time, but of your funds and your money as well. So that's why I started off literally was me and my Xbox and a Kinect. And like, that was it. Like, I didn't have a computer to do overlays. I didn't have any of that. I just wanted to get started. So I had to start somewhere. So she let me get an Xbox and eventually a Kinect camera, and I had a light, and that was it for the longest time for almost the first year of my streaming career.
Wow, and you've gone so far. I mean, there's a lot of people that don't make it where you are right now. I mean, 6,000 followers is quite a bit, and there's a lot of people who've been on for 4 years and have half that, if that.
Yeah, I'm extremely blessed to have such a wonderful community and to have people that don't owe me anything. They don't owe me their time. They don't owe me their money, but somehow these people keep showing up. So it's a very humbling thing. And you realize like how grateful you are to have a group of people that will come out and watch you play video games and yell on the internet for 4 or 5 hours at a time,
So I would say that for you being a content creator, especially in live stream elements, your community is one of the main things that holds you together, is building a community, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, and like I said, these people don't owe you anything, but continue to find ways to engage them, and getting to know somebody as much as you can over the internet, which can be challenging and has its hurdles as well. But really, like, investing in people is what's going to help a streamer get started, because without the people there to support you, you're just somebody yelling on the internet or playing a game. And
Mm.
when there's thousands and thousands of people playing games live on Twitch or on YouTube or Facebook, why would somebody want to watch you? And I think it's important to find that for yourself and find out, why would people want to watch me play
So
video games?
I noticed your lighting. You have
Mm.
very good lighting. Like you can see right now, I've got a little light sheen. So I got one of those little donut things, the
Yeah.
circle light things,
Hmm.
and it gives me a decent light. But at the same
Hmm.
time, I can see that yours is very natural looking. What do you use to keep your lighting?
I do have a ring light that I use, probably similar to yours. I believe it's an 18-inch ring light. And then my camera is a DSLR camera that I have set up as a web camera to help keep that image looking crisp, and keep it looking professional.
Okay, and about how much do you think those run?
It depends. Like, I think I got mine used, and it's in the $500 range, and I got it from YouTube.
Mhm.
But there are other DSLR cameras. I just went with Sony because I knew it was one of the best for what I needed it to do.
Okay,
And there's several other streamers that I know that also use one of the Sony A series DSLR cameras, and they function really well.
okay. I just was asking because I use like a simple Logitech, and
Mhm.
I obviously it's good for me to start with.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
that's what. Yeah,
yeah.
always start with whatever you can within your budget and within your range. It's very
And
important.
that's what I try to let
Mhm.
everybody know is like, you know, you don't have to break the bank to get started.
No,
You can build your way there. It's like I
you can start
started
with an Xbox and a Connect. You can do
exactly.
it.
Yeah, I started with the little round snowball microphone. Now I
Hmm.
bought a Shure mic,
Hmm.
which, there's a couple $100, but
Yeah,
I knew that that was going to be my first real investment towards
yeah,
clarity,
yeah,
'cause yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. So what would you recommend for buying like microphones? What kind of microphone do you have there?
So my microphone is a Rode Pod mic, and I think for any broadcaster, you want to look at dynamic mics,
Hmm.
instead of a condenser. So that's going to be a mic that doesn't require 48-volt phantom power, but it's gonna really accentuate some of those lower tones, because you want to have that broadcast sound, in my opinion. But also, it is also about the way that you want to project yourself too. Like, if you want to use a condenser and that's all you have, try it out. It's going to pick up a lot of room noise, though. I think what's more important is understanding some of the more nuances of sound engineering, and understanding, like, your EQ and your compression and your
Mm.
gate and all that. And that can make any mic, if you have good quality EQ and compression, you can make a lot of mics sound really, really good.
I made my snowball sound pretty good just by using an equalizer overlay. I was
Hmm.
using what was I using? I don't even remember now because it's been a little while. I have it right here. I still have it on here, but I don't really use it anymore. It was actually two programs in one. One's called Peace,
Mm.
and
Okay.
then yeah, and it was like a equalizer thing that I put on there, and it really deafened down the other one was EXP soundboard for anybody. I've never actually told anybody that.
Mm.
But yeah, that helped me out because that snowball was like really echoey and
Mm.
had a lot of static behind it when I first started with it. And once I got through uh, to this microphone, I didn't need anything. I just shut everything
Hmm.
off.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
because I mean, this thing's just perfect in that regard. But I like that microphone. That sounds really nice. I like the way you're. See, I can do the same thing if I get real close to it.
It's called the proximity effect. Yes.
Exactly. Yeah. But so I would ask you what you do used for editing, but you don't really need to do any editing because you're a live stream element. So,
Yeah, I do some video editing. Like, I'll make some skits for break scenes, or I'll whip up something for YouTube occasionally. And for the longest time, I just used iMovie on a Mac. And if you sort of understand iMovie, you can really do a lot of things with it that maybe it's not supposed to do. And it may be a little bit longer workaround to do some things,
Mhm.
especially when you're trying to edit out like chroma key some stuff out for a background. It can take a few more steps than another higher end software could do, but you can do a lot of stuff with iMovie. And now I use one of Corel's movie editing software or video editing software now.
So I noticed that you do a lot of like giveaways and you do a lot of games with the people, and obviously it's part of your content. Do you recommend that for like people beginning to go ahead and jump into that, or is that something that they should kind of work their way into slowly?
As far as like letting viewers play with them, or in what regard?
Well, and like I've heard some things about like giveaways can
Oh,
be kind of difficult to deal with,
hmm,
you know, and maybe for a new streamer, maybe that's not the way to go right away, and maybe work their way into that.
maybe not necessarily. I mean, ultimately, like you are gonna, a person is gonna be the biggest asset you have. It's not the
Mhm.
game. It's not your technology. It's nothing else other than you. Like it's about selling yourself. That's the most important thing. So once you find the ways to sell yourself to your viewers and your audience and potential audience, then you can start working in other things. And yeah, giveaways can be fickle. You just always check for things like, is this a giveaway region locked? And make sure that you have that information and be ready in case something goes out to go. I really pride myself in customer service and trying to be a type of person who would compensate somebody if their giveaway item didn't work. So, just be ready for that. But it can be a dicey place, but just be ready to have good customer service and good communication with the winners of these giveaways.
And do you have any advice for new Twitch users for, say, chat moderation and dealing with I don't want to necessarily say trolls, but sometimes just people that are overly friendly or
Hmm.
that can be, there's a lot of social elements that I think that can be dangerous at times.
Hmm.
I was watching some of the TwitchCon and they had touched on this at one point there, and how sometimes you got to, let people know that, hey, you're overstepping and things
Hmm.
like that. How do you feel about that approach,
I think it's important to communicate boundaries at all times and what you feel comfortable with and what you feel like your viewers feel comfortable with. And it's good to reiterate those things. There are gentle ways to do that,
Mm.
but sometimes if it needs to be a timeout or a ban, it's okay with that because it's okay because it's your show, it's your content, and you want to have as much control as you can over it. Of course, you can't control everything, but if somebody's out of line or overstepping, it's okay to politely tell them that they're doing so, and then if you need to take further action, you can always do that.
So basically, at the end of the day, you're still going to treat it like you're a business in a sense,
Exactly. If you
and
don't, yeah, I
yeah.
mean, you have to decide what you want to do as a streamer. That's what I always tell people
Mm.
when they ask me, like, what's your advice about getting a live stream? It's like, we need to assess your goals. Like, what do you want to get out of it? Do you want to make this a side hustle? Do you want to do it to make friends? Do you want it to be a career? And then you just kind of like you work out of that mindset and those goals that you have established for yourself.
Okay, cool. Um, so I'm going to take a quick little mid break here and say thank you to all my listeners that are out there. Hello, how you guys doing? Thank you for listening to the show, and thank you to all my Patreon listeners for your support. I hope I get more of those one day. Uh, if you are not yet and would like to, please follow, like, subscribe, and be sure to write a review for the show. Also, send me an email with your comments and your questions at ccreatorsguide@gmail.com, and you can follow me on Twitter at ccreatorsguide. I hope I got that correctly because I have a tendency to try to add .com to things. I don't know. It's just the way I am. We'll be right back after this message and a short clip from today's talent.
I'm your host, Maverick Stone.
It's me, Gingerino42.
I'm Romer.
Hey, this is Sassy Lady.
And I'm Jaxus. And we are the Fallout Roundtable. Join us as we explore various topics from the Fallout universe brought from multiple perspectives. We can be found on your favorite podcatchers from Spotify to iTunes, or follow us on Twitter at FalloutRTB or our email falloutrtb@gmail.com. Be sure to rate, follow, and subscribe. Thank you.
Welcome back, everyone. This is Tooniversal here with me on the Content Creators Guide. He's going to set us up with a little clip. You want to go ahead and let everybody know what the clip's kind of about?
Sure. So one of the games that I play is titled Fallout 76, and it's a open sandbox game with the ability to be multiplayer as well. And what I did was I created an event called Nuke It and Afraid. There is a particular alcoholic beverage in Fallout 76 that if you drink it, you will black out and wind up somewhere randomly. So what some other creators did is they came up with the idea that they should have races with it. So you drink a Nuka Shine, you race back to a certain point. I didn't create that, but I was doing a charity run with a friend of mine, Kenneth Vigu, who has the Chad Fallout 76 podcast, and he was doing a Nuka Shine run. I was like, I wish there was a way that the viewers could have influence over what was going on here. So I took that and made Nuke It In Afraid. You strip down to your undies in the game and you race. One of the things that makes it interactive, though, is people vote to see the runners randomly sponsored or punished. So in this clip, you're going to see one of the runners has spun the wheel and has won. And then I have this colorful cast of characters that can spin the wheel that determines whether you get a sponsorship or a punishment in this particular race. And so with this clip that your viewers are going to see is Adult Mickey. One of the characters that the community and myself have created is basically the juxtaposition of this wholesome Mickey Mouse character that the whole world loves. Like, what if he had all these struggles with his marriage and all these other problems that adults often face, both good and bad. But I decided to put him in this situation, and he spun the wheel for this particular runner.
Okay, folks, let's go ahead and watch the clip.
Oh, you're good, dear. Whichever one is working.
I'm going to surprise
whatever
you.
one you think is the most spoopy.
You know what, boss? Some people say that I'm the most spoopy.
Hi, Granny. Oh, Mickey.
I'll tell you what's spooky. These divorce papers. That stuff's a bitch. I'll tell you what. It's awful.
It sounds awful.
Hey, I heard you went to go see somebody that looks like me out in California. Is that true?
I did. I had a lot of fun.
Well, I hope that Mickey's having better luck in life than I am. I tell you what, it ain't good down here in Buena Vista. The Buena Vista Hojo Ball, it's terrible. All right, well, let me spin the wheel for you.
Oh.
What's it
Thank you,
gonna
Mickey.
be? Oh, you're welcome. It's nice to be. It's nice to be needed, you know, because there's other places I'm not needed anymore. According to a court order, I'm not needed anymore. All right, I got you a sponsorship. Better than my luck, I'll tell you that right now, Ball Tater.
Well, thank you. I hope things go better for you, Mickey.
Oh, you and me both. You and me both, Ball. See you later.
Bye, Mickey.
All right, you wanted scary. You asked.
He certainly has. He's got a little spice in there.
He does.
He's a little angry.
All right, Ma, you also get to use any weapon for the rest of this run. Anything but legacies are a go. Tricks for the
All
Morex.
righty.
You know, Toon, you should tell Mickey that that the reality is nowadays in this economy and so on, the only people making bank are lawyers.
That is true. So what you're saying is... So what you're saying, Shreds, is I should be spending my downtime not collecting my royalties and living off of that in the Hojo on Buena Vista, but I should actually go back and do something, get my law degree.
I'm thinking. I mean, it's a litigious environment right now.
I don't even know what litigious means, but that's okay.
That's a big word.
I had the vocabulary of a sophomore in high school. I didn't even graduate. Did you know that? Stay in school, kids. Mickey keeps telling the kids to stay in school, but hell, I didn't even finish the 11th grade. Got my GED back in, I don't know, 2001. I got my GED. That's what I did.
That's very good.
But stay in school.
Wait, is Minnie suing you for that too? Is she going to take your GED as well?
No, that's not part of the deal. I made sure that was staying on my wall. That's not going anywhere. But I'll tell you something right now, Stretch. Night school's a bitch. I'll tell you that right now. You tell that really did not work with my schedule back in 01. It sure didn't. You know, it's like, oh, you gotta be here for the Magic Kingdom parade, blah, blah, blah. Oh, now you gotta go to night school. Damn it! I don't want to go to night school. I want to go home to my wife, who's a cold rat. She's a cold rat, giving me the cold shoulder, saying, "Hey, Mickey, sleep on the couch. Pluto's taking your spot in the bed."
Oh man, that's rough. That's rough.
Yeah, you're not long. Rough. You're right. That is rough.
That is.
Ruff, ruff.
Oh man.
That's what Pluto says.
Oh my God, that is hilarious, man. Oh, I don't know how to handle that. I don't know if I need a bit advisory thing at the bottom or something. That was pretty funny. Oh my goodness. So what went through your head when coming up with your name? I mean, obviously your name is part of your show, name of your show. What made you come up with Tooniversal?
So my gaming persona was Toon, and I got that from gosh, there was a game for the Nintendo 3DS where I think it was like Triforce Heroes, and there was Toon Link, who was one of the characters that you can be in other Zelda games. So I decided to call myself Toon Box initially. I was Toon Box, and that was my gaming persona. And I wanted the channel to be representative not just of me, but of a group of people. So that's where I came in with the idea for the space theme and combining Universal with Toon, making Tooniversal, just to be something more representative of a larger group of people other than just myself.
Okay. Yeah, I now it kind of makes sense when I see the little rocket ship stuff behind you when you're having your conversations with your green screen. I, I think you're a very creative person. I just thought that
Thank
was
you.
really cool to see. What is a question that new content creators fail to ask? And of course, your answer to that.
A question that new content creators fail to ask. I haven't really thought about that. Usually people reserve those sorts of questions for off broadcast because there's kind of like an etiquette thing of like, you don't really ask a streamer about streaming like while they're streaming.
Yeah.
Depending on the situation. I'm trying to think of a question that I wish I would have asked when I was just getting started. I wish I would have asked what specific equipment I need to start getting my overlays and everything up so that I can do more and express myself and express my creativity more. I wish I would have asked those questions about like, well, what do I need? What do I need to get early on? What's going to help me to do this, this, and this? And wish those were questions I would have asked earlier.
And what are the answers to those questions?
You can start off small. Like you need, whether you're streaming on a console or whether you're streaming on a PC, like I feel like engaging overlays are very important and eye-catching overlays and things that will set you apart from other people who are playing. Having unique overlays is important, and having a decent computer to accomplish that is important. I think a PC is needed. I believe there are other things now out there. I don't know. I think it was something called Lightstream. I'm struggling to think of what it's called now, but there are ways now I believe for you to just like play on your console and then have this particular site launch all your overlays that you have preset for yourself.
Okay. All right. So basically, like OBS Studios and the live stream elements there, putting the overlays into that, which OBS is a free program.
And I recommend for anybody OBS Studio over Streamlabs OBS.
I'm with you on that one. To me, Streamlabs is overly complicated for no reason.
It's complicated. It does offer some good integration between Streamlabs and OBS, but it's also very resource intensive, and you want to save those resources for other things, I believe. So I would recommend Studio over Slobs any day.
Yeah, I got you. So got anything coming up? Well, when are you going to be on next, and where can people find you? Where can they reach you at?
So people can find me Monday through Friday on Twitch at Tooniversal, starting at 9 a.m. Eastern. I usually stream for 4 to 5 hours each day during that time slot, and always welcome to new people coming by, whether you play the games that I play or not. We just want you there hanging out with us and having a good time. We don't just talk about the game. We talk about life. We talk about a lot of other things. We talk about our allergy medications or what sort of lawn care we're using. It's our 80s music or 90s music, whatever it is, food. We end up talking about food a lot. So it's really just a talk show, really. And the game becomes this backdrop for me just to engage, interact with people.
Excellent. And what kind of games are you playing?
So game-wise, I've been playing Fallout 76 a lot, still my main game. I've also been integrating some Sea of Thieves in there, which is another multiplayer game as well.
It's one of my favorites that you do.
It's a lot of fun. And looking forward to Redfall and Starfield coming out next year from Bethesda.
That is I can't wait for that game. Oh my goodness.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, that one's going to be an epic one. I got to figure out some way to integrate that to use it somehow. Okay, so this is kind of a toughie. I wish I would have asked it to be beforehand, but I have the ability to edit. So, what key takeaway would you like listeners to get from your time here?
To really assess your goals, like do a gut check and check your goals and make sure that you really like what you do. I think if you don't love the craft, you're not going to love streaming. But it's important to have, I think it's important to have good boundaries with your gaming, with your content creation, and just having goals and then finding ways that are within your means to execute those goals. I think that's what I would want people to take away from this.
Excellent. All right, folks, that's going to do it for me today. I hope you enjoyed your time on the show. Be sure to check out my guest's work and keep creating. Bye-bye.
Bye.
This podcast is part of the Robots Radio Rocket Club, a program designed to help all podcasts reach their full potential. For information about joining the Robots Radio Rocket Club, check out robotsradio.net.